All right, we're going to open up the September 16th Ocoee regular city commission meeting. We'll have the invocation by Mr. Hart, pledge of allegiance by Commissioner Wilson, and then we'll have roll call. Please stand.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your abundant grace and mercy that you've shown towards us to allow us to come together to conduct the city's business. And Father, we pray that you help us to come together in the spirit of unity. Even though we may disagree, let us not disengage or disrespect one another, but continue to treat each other as brothers and sisters. Help us to lead not only with wisdom, but with compassion to do the best things that are best for our citizens. And once again, we pray a special prayer of our first responders. Keep them safe on every call. Watch over them as they watch over us. We're so careful to give you the praise, the honor, and the glory you do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Wilson?
Here.
Mayor Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Firstner?
Here.
Commissioner Oliver?
Here.
All right, we have presentations, proclamations. The Hispanic Heritage Month proclamation, we run it on the screen out in the hallway. We also have the 9/11 Remembrance Proclamation posted out there also. So we'll, staff reports.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one item to bring to your attention, and I'm going to, in a moment, ask the city attorney to give you a brief update. As you all recall, and this is probably new to the community, we received a letter from the Department of Commerce declaring our comprehensive plan null and void and inconsistent with Senate Bill 180, or the law that was created by Senate Bill 180, which had to do with not adopting any more restrictive comprehensive plan amendments during that time interval from August 1st of 2024 through 2027, which related, I believe, to Hurricane Milton. If you all recall, we actually included opt-out language in the comprehensive plan as part of the adoption resolution, as well as in the introduction of the comp plan itself. Anyone that feels like a provision is more restrictive can, in writing, request an opt-out and be regulated under the comp plan that existed August 1st, 2024. So City Attorney's Office responded back, which you were copied on those, with the response, we do not believe that they have the authority to do so. We need consensus to preserve the city's rights in the event that we need to request a hearing with the Department of Administrative Appeals. And I'm going to turn it over to the city attorney and let him take it from there.
That's right. When this commission adopted the Envision 2045 comp plan, I stated emphatically that we were in compliance with SB 180 because of the opt-out, and I stand by that tonight. We are most certainly in compliance with it, and the letter that we received from the Department of Commerce was given to the city in error, in our view. My partner, Dan Langley, sent a letter back to the Department of Commerce requesting that the department's initial letter to the city, which came on August 27, be rescinded. We disagreed that the new comp plan is more restrictive or burdensome or more burdensome than that which preceded it. There are instances where a developer will very much want to proceed under the new comp plan rather than the old comp plan. There may be some benefits as far as density, intensity, and the mixing of uses. And the Department of Commerce specifically overlooked the opt-out provision, and that is critical and that is fatal to the Department of Commerce's position. We also pointed out in our letter that the Department of Commerce lacks the authority and the jurisdiction to even make this determination, that SB 180 provides that only a business owner or a city resident can challenge our comp plan as being more restrictive or burdensome. Never mentions the Department of Commerce. The Department of Commerce claimed that it could make this assertion under Chapter 163. We, in our letter, pointed out that Chapter 163 does not provide such authority to the Department of Commerce. And we pointed out also that the Department of Commerce has never promulgated a rule, even defining what more restrictive or burdensome means. And so there are serious due process issues at play here. Next Friday, September 26, will be the 30th day from the receipt of the department's letter on August 27. And there is concern that if we do not bring a proceeding with the Department of Administrative Hearings asking for an administrative judge to rule that the department's letter is rescinded, that the department may say that its letter was a final determination and that the city waived its rights by not bringing such a proceeding. And so what I would like to ask for is a consensus on this commission that we bring a proceeding with DOE, the Department of Administrative Hearings, challenging the Department of Commerce's letter in order to preserve the city's rights. I would, of course, keep the commission informed as this were to proceed. If we need to have a hearing, we would let you know. But in the meantime, we would try to work this out with the Department of Commerce. I would be hopeful that when they look at the opt-out provision that they would agree that we are, in fact, in compliance with SB 180.
All right, commissioners, anybody go along, everybody okay with?
Yes.
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 I don't need to make a motion on that.
I don't think we need a motion.
All right, Craig.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right. We're going to go to the public comments. I have 3 or 4 here. We'll start off on the, what is that, Doreen Working? You're number 1.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners, City Manager, Melanie. My name is Noreen Dworkin. I'm the Editor-in-Chief of Vox Populi, wintergardenvox.com. I wanted to talk about the Sunshine State Awards that took place on September 6th down in Fort Lauderdale. The Sunshine State Awards honors the best in Florida journalism. The awards have been given since 1946, and they are judged by active and retired journalists and journalism educators from out of state. And Vox Populi was a finalist this year for our coverage of the 2024 state election coverage of Senate District 13. So when we compete in this competition, we compete in the print and digital category, and we compete against publications like the Orlando Sentinel, the Miami Herald, the South Florida Sun Sentinel, the Palm Beach Post, Florida Politics, so publications that are much bigger than ourselves. We were very proud of our finalist placing, and last year we won first place in the commentary category, and we beat the Sun Sentinel, so we punch well above our weight class, and I wanted to make you aware of that. So thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay, Dave Denmark. I forgot to tell everybody, you get 3 minutes up at the,
I know. I know, I'll round it
just
up.
reminding everybody.
Yep. Hi, my name's Dave Denmark. I live at 610 Galago Avenue in Prima Vista subdivision. Tiger Minor Park backs up to our housing on that street. And we have tennis courts and playgrounds and stuff like that, but they have put in a pickleball court there. And the enthusiasm of the pickleball players is to get there as early as they can at 6 o'clock and to leave as late as they can at 10 o'clock. And all you hear every day is ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong all day long. We have people at work, we have people with children, and we need to, I propose that we need to change the lighting instead of 7 to 10, from 8 to 8. And if we can, to put the gates back that we had years ago on Geneva and Butterfly Creek Road, so that we can lock that thing down. There's other things going on in the park at night we have to call the police about. People coming into the parking lot doing the donuts. There's drug dealing going on in the park. And they also ride motorcycles and golf carts and everything else in the park. We have signs that says, leash your dog, pick up after your dog, no motorized vehicles in the park. But with all the cussing and hollering and yelling and everything, it's disturbing a lot of the neighbors on 610 and also with the interior. We can actually see the lights coming into the neighborhood, and we see the traffic on Geneva has picked up. And I'll let the rest of the people have my time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm sorry, what?
Deborah Gully?
Oh.
Good evening. My name's Debbie Gully, and I live on 620 Gallego Avenue. And I agree with...
Debbie, speak into the
Speak in the
microphone.
mic.
Speak into the
sorry.
mic, please.
And I agree with everything Dave said. My house, actually, the backyard now is the pickleball courts. So at 6:30 in the morning, it's pop, 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 pop. So it would be nice if that noise, we can't do anything about it, but if it would begin at 8 o'clock would be a great help. We bought this house because of the beauty of the backyard and the park, and now we don't have any peace and tranquility back there any longer. And I also agree with that we need the gates back there to deter any other activities. They already have on the main tennis courts, there's also pickleball courts on there. They're already lit. So you already have 3 pickleball courts that are already lit. The new pickleball courts, the one court gets enough light, so you actually have almost 4 pickleball courts at night. So I don't think we need any added lights because of that. The man in charge of the Parks and Rec said that the lights will come down and they won't shine into our area, but that's not the point. The point is that the people will be there even longer with more no peace in our backyard. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So, you want to make it?
Yeah,
I'm gonna let commissioners, if they have any comments on this, make comments.
I'd like to make some comments. I have talked to some of the neighbors, they are here, and I've talked to Mark Johnson, who is our Director of Parks and Leisure Services. And again, I had never heard anything about the pickleball courts from any of the residents until now, but I'm glad you have come out and voiced your concerns. I know that David mentioned 8 to 8, I think it's been mentioned, going 8 to 8. And Mark also, I talked to Mark Johnson about this, if there's any materials that we can do that can deflect some of the noise coming from the pickleball courts to the neighborhoods, is something we could look at in the gates. But I would like to ask the commission if it's something that we could move forward with or come back with some type of an ordinance that would limit the use of the parks from that park from 8 to 8 with gates that we can roll to be closed. I think the gates were at one time on a rolling type basis where they closed the gates on both ends. Those are some of the suggestions that I'm bringing forth. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, Craig, but what we could do is that, could that be accomplished?
I haven't heard anything unreasonable. What I would suggest is you direct me to bring back a plan at the next commission meeting. I haven't heard anything that I felt like was unreasonable. There is a neighborhood back there. We have hopes, once we get our new fire station, of maybe expanding some of our facilities over at the Vignetti Park, which is has a lot more land available to it. And, the hours don't, I don't really have an issue with 8 to 8 for something like that either. And, I've already spoken with Parks and Leisure Service Director Johnson, and we've talked about some sound mitigation barriers and things like that too to help cut it down. But I think all the public comment was reasonable, so I'd like to come back with something that could be formal. Mayor, did you have any?
No,
Is that agreeable, or?
is that?
Yes, I agree with that.
Yes.
Everybody's agreeable to that. Is that okay? You understand what we're gonna do? We're gonna get it worked out for you, okay?
We want, I understand the tranquility, yes, and people coming at 6:30 in the morning is not appropriate. 7:30 in the morning is still not appropriate. But, again, you have a very quiet neighborhood. You've always had a quiet neighborhood, and with Tiger Minor has been a wonderful park. Behind you, basically quiet with just tennis courts. And again, that's what we want to maintain for the tranquility of our residents. Is that something?
What? Sounds good. One of the things is we'll have to put fence back there where they used to come into the gate at the front of the park on Geneva. You'll have to put, where we put a gate.
I know that in the budget that we've put, that is so far has not been approved yet, but there is lighting, there is in the budget lighting for the pickleball courts. Would we need that if we go 8 to 8? Is that something we just keep in there and just come back to it later, address it?
Well, you would need lights if we go 8 to 8, if we are during the winter months under daylight savings, because it's getting dark, around
Early.
5:30.
Just to fleck them so that they don't spill
We,
the spillage
our
doesn't go over the
current
neighborhood.
code requires full cutoff fixtures at the ground level and little to no light pollution. So we would be implementing a full cutoff fixture if we did. That's something we'll discuss when I bring it back to you at the next meeting.
With locks on the lights so they can't, yeah.
Absolutely. There are a lot of places that have the lights on a timer, and they shut off at the appropriate time, and no one can get them back on.
I'd like to see options presented, just as you said, I'm a big fan of dawn to dusk. And if we don't need to pay for lighting, I'd like to save that money. I didn't understand the distinction between, and if it's an issue, if the park is open or if the pickleball just waits till 8. So I'd like to understand that, if there's acceptable use of the park prior to 8 a.m. or not, if you could explain that.
Yep.
That's it. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Moyer?
Are you?
My name's Dr. Jim Moyer. I'm the elected Orange Soil and Water Conservation District 2 supervisor, and I live in Ocoee. At the last meeting, I mentioned about Stark Lake, and just to recap real quick, according to Orange County Water Atlas, it's an impaired lake, and according to an 18-month, 20-reporter investigative report out of Tampa Bay Times on the whole state, it's considered worsening. So I'm hoping that we can do something about it. I know there is some initiative being taken by Ocoee. I talked to Assistant Manager Rumor after the last meeting. We talked about meeting with Orange County Environmental Protection Division. They reached out to me and said prior to the meeting with the city, they'd like to meet with me individually, which I did last Friday. And I'm basically making a case to increase the ranking that they give, because they rank all their projects, increase the ranking and make it a higher priority. Part of the discussion was about Silver Star project. And during the meeting, they agreed to reach out to DOT, I'll call it for simplicity purposes. And they got a response back this morning, which reads, SR 437/438 from SR 438 parentheses Franklin Street to Silver Bend Boulevard / Ocoee Landings, 454203-1 is a pavement-only resurface project. The nature of the project is limited to asphalt resurfacing, ADA compliance, detection, restoration, and signing and pavement markings. And at the end of the, yes, sir.
One of the problems is on Silver Star Road coming in from down off the hill, coming back into Ocoee, is no drainage from the state DOT. It drains right out of the road into the lake.
Yes, sir, and that is part of the discussion and part of the,
There's one, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, that was part of the discussion, and that was part of my rationale for trying to make it a higher priority, because even if hypothetically the blueberry farm was perfect, if the drainage comes down off of the more elevated Silver Star Road area, I mean, you're cleaning up at one end and polluting it at the other. So we're trying to come up with a future meeting and try to work this out and make it a higher priority. They're making no promises, but I'm to work out a meeting.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Moyer.
We do have a ballot box.
All right. We have one more here is Mr. David Swisher.
My name is David Swisher. I live at 2432 Ohio Bay Drive, Ocoee, Florida. I'm the treasurer for the Ohio Bay HOA, and I've been a resident of Ocoee for 29 years. I'd like to know who made the decision to place the fiber optics hub on the old Ohio Shores right-of-way. It's an eyesore.
It's a right-of-way. I've talked to you about it, Craig.
I can't really speak to that. I'd like to have Mr. Krug come down, our Public Works Director, and talk about that. As far as the actual placement of it, we try to be as judicious as we can when doing a road project like that. Steve, I'll let you.
Steve Krug, Public Works. Basically, like we've explained before, they have a right to be in the right-of-way. We work with them to make sure it's not a sight distance issue. There's a couple others in the city. We've had them paint it, and they've agreed to and put the bollards around it and try to decorate it as best as they can.
They're all dead.
We'll have to look at that, then we can talk to them about that. But
Who made a decision to put it there?
I believe they applied for a right-of-way permit.
No, they didn't.
We
I went to
don't,
Public Works. I went to
I'll have to talk,
Planning
I'll
and
have to do
Zoning. I went
research
to the
then.
building department to see if there was a permit built. Those flags were out there for almost a year. Nobody in the city knew what was going to happen where all those flags were. Like I said, I went to all the departments. Oh, they didn't pull a permit. No, we don't know what's going to go in there. Nobody in the city had any input. My position is, I think the fiber optics people picked where they needed to put it for the best operation of their budget, and you rubber stamped it.
We didn't.
And it's your responsibility, according to the Florida statutes, to tell people if they're going to put something on city property, where it's supposed to go. It's not their option. That's up to you.
I thought legislature
Don't
made
look at
those
me, I don't
decisions.
make that decision.
Pardon?
I thought legislature,
Can you show a picture of this?
Can I
I
ask a
think,
question?
Craig, is it not a rule where they can put it on the right-of-ways? Isn't that what the rule is?
I'm not going to call on her.
I know,
but-
Ohio Shores.
Go up
and
here
you
to
look
Silver
south
Star.
On Ohio Bay, and you look south, there's the fiber optics right in the corner down there.
There are laws that.
Here's a closer picture of it. Okay? There's another picture. Now, if you come in off of Silver Star and you turn into Ohio Shores, which you're going due west then, that's what you see. The first thing you see is all those posters around the thing. Now,
Steve, can you get with?
Just behind the hub, all the way through where the old Ohio Shores, there's 100 yards they could have put that thing down there between the two retention ponds. Out of sight, out of mind, but it didn't happen.
How long ago was that?
They just started about 6 months ago. The flags have been there for over a year.
Is that right?
I called 811 because I said, who's putting these flags here? We can't tell you. I said, what do you mean you can't tell me? We can't tell you.
Craig?
Let me offer this. This is the first I'm hearing about this. The appropriate thing for us to do would be to look into this and talk with this gentleman here about it. There might be some things that we could do to try to
Well, it's too late to move. It's too late to move it now. It should never have been there. Should never have been there.
Will you let him finish? Okay, let him finish.
Pardon?
Let him finish talking.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble hearing.
It's okay. This is not the place to get into an argument. We typically try to protect residential communities, and our policies are set up to do so. I'm not saying that happened here. I'm saying that I need to look into it further. However, there are new state laws that govern rights of utility companies in our right-of-way, and they have grown more in the favor of the utility companies over the years. I'm saying that without having any of the research in front of me or any of that. So I would suggest that Mr. Krug get with you and get everything that you have about that, and he will be in my office tomorrow, and we'll report back to the commission. And it is already in there. If there's a case that can be made to put some landscaping around it or try to, soften the impact, I would be okay with that also. But I can't really judge any of that until I have more information.
But I have a copy of the Florida statute that says.
With everything on it, I'll give it to you, Craig. I got the one.
Pardon?
I got the one with all your stuff on it.
Oh, okay.
I'll give it to him.
But there is a Florida statute that says it's the city's responsibility.
I just have
My second concern is,
Okay, sir, the time's out, so I got,
what happened to the 5 minutes?
you went through 5 minutes. We're
Pardon?
about 7 or 8 right now.
Okay.
Let's finish. He wants to ask the question while you're up there, so I'm gonna let him ask it.
Mr. Switzer, I just have a quick question for you. I do
I'm
know
having
that-
trouble hearing you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
A little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry. So you have there's one junction box that goes right into your neighborhood, right there at the corner as you turn to your neighborhood. Is that correct?
Correct.
There's another junction box there. And I know we talked about that. And we also had a conversation about this particular issue as well. And I just have one question for you. Do you have a resolution? Are you bringing forth a resolution to this issue that you guys are facing with this fiber optic junction box?
We tried to have an issue, to have it, somebody to say, nobody even knew what was going in there. Nobody in the city even knew what the hub was. How could we say something? We didn't know what it was. You didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was.
Yes, sir.
Now, my next question is, why is the city letting the fiber optics people have a free ride when you're looking for money? The budget needs to be increased on the fire and rescue. I'm totally in agreement with it. Why are you giving these people a free ride?
Craig, you understand the right-of-way means what, like he was saying, he's gonna try to get you an answer to all of it, Mr. Switzer. There's a reason the state has rules, or they can do certain things. Now, some companies, like, we do get interest out of some of them. I don't know if it's them or not, but we do get a percentage.
Have you got a copy of the Florida statute I gave you where it says the Florida optics are not immune?
They're gonna work on it. I'm gonna give you your papers, and we'll get back with you, okay?
That'd be fine.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Steve?
Thank you for your time.
Steve, make sure you get with Craig and get this.
You need a copy
I also believe he's right about why would we not get notified
Yeah.
of that, any work going in the city?
Get a permit.
Yeah, we had quite a few fiber optic cables being ran in the north side of town, and we got plenty of notification about
Yeah,
those
so
being
I don't know why that wasn't, but we need to.
put out. We had the contractors, we knew the actual GCs that were actually doing it, so I had all that information. This one I'm not
Yeah,
sure about.
we'll find
Mayor,
it.
there's a lot more to this story. The Assistant City Manager just informed me of, and we will have a report back to you.
Okay, all right.
Okay?
All right, we're gonna move to the consent agenda. Anybody, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt the consent agenda as
Motion.
published.
Motion made by Commissioner Kennedy to adopt the consent agenda. Here a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Oliver. Any more comments? No more comments, let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. All right, we're down to public hearings, number 14. Approval of resolutions for abandonment and vacation for portions of North Lakewood Avenue and Clear Corner Ocoee Road right-of-way, project number VAC-22-34. Concurrency and Commitments Coordinator, Mark McFarland. That's
Not me. No, sir. Mr. McFarland is at the Florida Planning Conference,
Okay.
to which I will be returning to after this evening as well. Commissioners, everybody, thank you for this evening. So this item is regarding the right-of-way abandonment and vacation of unimproved portions of North Lakewood Avenue and a small corner clip of Clarkona Ocoee Road. This is an aerial of the property. So this is the, you'll see it in a little bit more detail later, the aerial of the right-of-way area. So a little bit of background, this property is inside District 1, and the request is to vacate portions of Old Lakewood, North Lakewood, and portions of the intersection of North Lakewood and Clarkona Ocoee Road. This is coming about because of a vacation and dedication agreement that the city executed in 2022, whereby the developer had agreed to construct and dedicate to the city the new segment of North Lakewood Avenue, and then following that completion, the city would process the vacation of the old segment of North Lakewood Avenue and a portion of Clarkona. So as you see here, this is the old segment, and this is the new segment that our residents and visitors are using now, and this tiny little piece is the corner clip of Clarkona Ocoee Road. Letters were sent to the standard list of utility providers, and no concerns or objections were received from those utility providers. With that, staff is recommending that the commission approve the resolution to abandon and vacate those two unimproved portions of the rights-of-ways for North Lakewood and Clarkona Ocoee Road. Thank you.
all right.
All right. A resolution of the City of Ocoee, Florida, abandoning and vacating unimproved portions of the rights-of-way of North Lakewood Avenue and Clarkona Ocoee Road, located in Section 5, Township 22, South, Range 28, East Orange County, Florida, providing for recording, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
All right, I'm gonna open the public hearing. Anybody in the public have any comments on item 14? Resolution of abandonment and vacation for portions of North Lakewood Avenue, Clear Corner Road. Anybody? All right, I'm gonna close the public hearing, bring it up to the dais. Anybody have any comments? If not, I need a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution abandoning and vacating portions of North Lakewood and Clarkona Ocoee Road right-of-way.
Motion made by Commissioner Kennedy. Do I hear a second?
Second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Ferstner. Any more comments? No more comments, let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, we're down to number 15, approval of Ocoee Pickleball Complex, Vacant Sports, Vassant Sports, LLC, large-scale preliminary site plan. But there, it's to you this time, okay.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item is whether or not the commission should make a decision to approve a preliminary large-scale site plan for the Ocoee Pickleball Complex located at 3 properties addressed 1100, 1050, and 1000 Jacob Nathan Boulevard. Just a bit of background, it's on the west side of Jacob Nathan. It totals 3 parcels, 6.08 acres. Their properties are currently vacant wooded lots. There's wetlands adjacent to it on the west. There are some floodplains on the west border as well, and the property is inside of the city's CRA boundary. This is an aerial of the property. The aerial is from 2022, which is why you don't see the Wawa there. It's because RGS hasn't pulled over the OCPA website. 2023 available aerials. This is the surrounding zoning district map and then surrounding future land use map. Just as a bit of additional history, this project came to the commission back in 2024 in May, whereby it came as a special exception because the applicant team at that time was proposing outdoor pickleball courts. That request for special exception was denied by the commission. The concept plan at that time was 44 courts in total, 24 of which were outdoors. There were issues raised by DRC members and technical staff relative to the number of parking spaces, the fact that there was only one ingress, egress driveway, site alignment and things like that. Over the past year, the applicant team has worked with staff and has developed this concept now. The facility is now an indoor recreational facility. It will comprise of 3 buildings. The first building is this blue one. There are 15 indoor courts and amenities and a restaurant with indoor-outdoor dining on 2 levels, and also a very small pro shop that is just under 500 square feet. You'll see building elevations and flyovers shortly. The second building, which is labeled here as the middle building, I lost my mouse. Oh, right here. That would have 10 indoor courts. I want to also point out, I'm sorry, in the first building, this area right here is a mezzanine type like boardwalk whereby you can have indoor dining and the people who are sitting there dining can look onto the games that are being played. This third building is on the south side. Building number 3 is a banquet hall. The rentable space is about 8,000 square feet and 2 suites. And then there's a championship court, which is outdoors or outside. And then it's sitting right next to a gathering space. The outdoor championship court is surrounded on 3 sides by the buildings, which are roughly 38 feet tall. The major changes of the plan from the 2024 special exception to this year's preliminary large-scale site plan is that it's now converted to an indoor complex as determined by our building official. It reduced the number of courts by 18 pickleball courts. They are also providing the parking ratios for the courts and other uses that was requested by staff last year. And they are providing 2 ingress-egress points for emergency response. Wanted to also share the landscaping. Even though there's landscaping there that will be maintained, these landscaping that's here, the existing trees, would not be touched. This row of landscaping here are large trees comprised of red maples and elms, and then there'll be elms and other large canopy trees on the north side, and then a series of canopy trees and understory trees throughout the site. In terms of the building elevation, they worked with staff, our urban designer, city architect, over a series of meetings to come up with these elevations. This is the north building. This first picture at the top here is the north side of the building that will be facing the retention pond, the city's pond on the north side. This one is the south elevation facing the championship court and the gathering space. You see here that this portion is the outdoor dining area on the first level. This is the outdoor dining area on the second level, looking at interior to the site. This is, it appears to be just a blank wall, but it would just be facing the second building. The southernmost picture is the east elevation. So the east elevation is our main facade that would be facing Jacob Nathan. Because of the length of the building, I had to cut it in half right here. So this is if you're driving west on Matthew Parish, this entry here is what you would be seeing. This is the northern portion of the building. Then this last elevation is the rear of the building that's facing west, so facing the wetlands. Building 2, this is the north elevation, so facing the blank wall of the first building, and then the south elevation facing the furniture store. This is the east elevation facing the gathering area and championship courts. There was a previous proposal that showed roll-up doors, and staff was opposed to the roll-up doors, and they worked with us to provide the retail front type doors instead. So all of these, this black line and this black line are match lines. So you put the two pieces together, that's the length of the building. And then this is the western elevation of that building, which is also facing the wetlands. The southernmost building, building number 3, this is the north elevation. So again, there's patio and balcony space where people can go and just watch the tournaments during the time that the tournaments are happening, or when people are renting that space and using that space, they can just relax and chat and gather outside. This is the east side of that banquet building, and this is the west side facing building 2, and then this is the south side facing the furniture store. The DRC considered this item at their Tuesday, September 2nd meeting. When the site plan was first submitted to the city, it was submitted as a preliminary and final large-scale site plan. Due to some outstanding issues relative to plans, the site plan and engineering, the applicant team elected to split the application into a preliminary so they could proceed to hearing and then continuing to work on the final engineering for the site plan, which will come back to the commission when all staff has approved all of the engineering for the project. So following discussion of those outstanding final engineering items, the DRC made a unanimous recommendation of approval with no conditions on the preliminary site plan. The Planning and Zoning Commission heard this item last week at their September 9th public hearing. 2 public comments were made. One was relative to a request for installing a wall or fence on the west side of the building, so basically the back side of the 38-foot wall. And also the second comment was the installation of a fence or a barrier along the north property lines at Jacob Nathan to prevent people driving onto the city's stormwater facility. As the applicant doesn't own Jacob Nathan, I don't know that we could place that condition on property that they do not own. Following the public comments and no further discussion by the PCC, they made a unanimous decision to make a recommendation of approval. Prior to the item coming forward to the DRC and Planning and Zoning Commission, we did have a community meeting that was held here in City Chambers. 44 residents were in attendance, not counting staff, Commissioner Wilson, who was present, and the members of the applicant team. A series of comments were raised. The applicant team and staff answered all of those questions. And with that, staff is recommending is recommending that the commission approve the pickleball complex located at 1100, 1050, and 1000 Jacob Nathan. And the applicant team is here, and I believe they wanted to at least show the flyover to the commission.
All right, come on.
Thank you, Anaj. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ravan Tumala. I'm representing the development team, the project developer team. And good evening, Mayor and the Commission here, and also the residents of Ocoee who are here for this meeting. So last year we came in front of the Commission when, as Anaj mentioned, we had 44 courts per the plan. So we heard the concerns from the residents, and especially from the from our neighbors. When I say neighbors, they are, I mean, the residential community right on the northwest side of our property. So we addressed all their concerns. I mean, we understood or took all their concerns, addressed all of them. We revisited the plan. We came out with a new plan to make our facility completely indoor with 25 pickleball tournament-style pickleball courts and one championship court that would be used only when we run massive tournaments that would happen like once in every 2 months or so. So as a pickleball enthusiast or a promoter, I strongly believe that we need this kind of facility to promote pickleball, not just only as a sport, but also as from the aspect of well-being as well. So as you guys know, pickleball is getting very popular every single day. We already had a discussion about pickleball in this particular meeting. That means we understand how important it is to promote pickleball, and also how popular it is getting every day by day. So when we talk about the project, so right now, as we can see, sorry, let me scroll down here. So the concerns raised by those residents last year were about the noise majorly. So as I said, we addressed that concern, and also we did a lot of analysis on the noise aspect as well. We went into other pickleball facilities across Florida, especially Pictona, where there's a 49-court pickleball facility exists, and we recorded noise levels during busy time on a Friday evening, and all the noise levels, were pretty within the acceptable range between 55 and 60 decibels. Even then, we changed our plan to make everything indoor, so the residents around us are happy about it. As far as this pickleball project, I mean, the facility, so as I said, it's going to be a 25-court indoor state-of-the-art pickleball courts. Every court is going to be tournament style. So we would be able to attract bigger tournament companies like APP or PPA. If you do not know what APP and PPA are, they are like US Open for tennis. So that's how big they are. So if we have this kind of facility, we will be easily able to attract those kind of companies to run tournaments that brings a lot of revenue into the city. So Anach actually covered a lot of critical things related to the project. I do not have anything else to add. The noise?
The elevations.
Oh, yeah. You want me to play the video? Okay, cool. Fantastic. I think I have 2 more minutes to run this conceptual video for you guys. This is what we see when we drive on Jacob Nathan Boulevard. So this is the front elevation where we have parking, followed by the 3 buildings. So this is the main building where the main entrance would be. Oh, sorry. So this is the interior of the main building. As Anach mentioned, there are 2 levels to it. So nowhere in the country we have this kind of facility so far, where we have an observation deck on the top, where people can enjoy their food and beverage or their family time while watching other players play on the courts downstairs. So this is the main building where we have some seating for dining services outdoors. So we have the dining services on level 1 and level 2 both. So from here, if there are any tournaments happening or the championship matches happening, people will be able to enjoy their food and beverages while watching Ben Johns or players like, top-notch players in the country play on the tournament style court, the championship court. Would like to just stop here and talk about this, the building C, which is on the south side of it. So this is the banquet hall. So towards the left on the screen, right, that's the banquet hall with two levels as well. 2 levels is not, the interior of it is only 1 level, but the exteriors of it is 2 levels where there's an opportunity for people to enjoy their time upstairs as well, having food and beverages while watching their kids play downstairs or whatever. Even they can watch championship matches happening on the championship court as well. So I think, this is the building B where we have 10 indoor pickleball courts. So majority of these courts have a doorway entry or exit to go out and go out from the courts as well. So these are completely air conditioned and indoor as well. All right, overall, that's the conceptual plan. We would like to build exactly, or we would like to build our facility to look like that. So we want to make this facility the best facility in the country, providing the best experience for athletes to play pickleball, and also we want to take this as a hub to promote pickleball in this area. Any questions to me?
Any questions? Any questions?
Thank you.
Actually, I'm sorry, I do have 2 questions.
All right, I'm bringing it back up here.
Okay, I'm sorry, yeah.
So,
Okay, I was going to wait for you to bring it back up.
anybody in the audience want to say anything? Fill out a form there.
Good evening, Mayor. Angel de la Portilla. I reside at 205 Calliope Street. I'm a legislative and local consultant for the city on legislative matters. I was here at the meeting, but I'm speaking today as a resident. I was at the meeting a year ago when it was denied, and this project seems that it's a lot better. It's indoors, and the noise impact is not as great as it would have been with the prior project. I appreciate the gentleman making the changes to the plan. Just wanted to let the city know and also the applicant know, Orange County has a sports incentive fund that is funded by the tourist development tax up to $10 million a year that goes into that fund. So this project, if they are going to bring in some large-scale pickleball tournaments, this project could receive marketing dollars. The city could be a co-applicant with the owners here for sports incentive marketing dollars that could help the applicant bring quality national pickleball tournaments. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Mayor. I'll fill out the comment card here.
All right. I'll bring it up here to the dais. Anybody, any comments?
I'm going to make some, I don't know.
We'll get.
Okay, all right. I want to thank the applicant because, again, we had the community meeting, which was mostly comprised of folks that are in my district. And we've come full circle. I do hope that maybe the folks from Tiger Minor will go over to this complex to create less noise for you. You've answered a lot of our questions and you answered a lot of their questions, which I appreciate immensely, because you have adjusted the north side of the building. That is a solid side that will, again, where the retention pond is, that would affect some neighbors who are a certain distance away. You've addressed the noise ordinance, the noises, we have a noise ordinance, and that you'd be adhering to that. Parking issue was addressed Anaj
Yes, ma'am.
addressed that. That, again, were some questions, but again, you answered a lot of questions at that community meeting, and I appreciate that, because we've come full circle from a year ago, or however long ago it was, I don't remember, was it a year?
A year and change. Yes.
Okay, that, and again, I appreciate that, because I find the importance of addressing our neighbors' concerns in that type of community meeting, to where you answered the questions and you addressed a lot of those issues, so thank you very much, I appreciate it. That's it.
I too agree with Commissioner Wilson. Yes, you've addressed all the concerns that was brought forth about a year ago, and hats off to you. Again, we have issues where we've had developers not really take into account what the community needed, but went forth with the development anyway. But in this case, yes, I would like to say bravo to you, hats off to you for doing that. I do just have a couple of questions. How long are we expecting the construction time to be? What is because again, the first issue we dealt with was noise. You know, the very first issue we dealt with a year ago was noise. So now we're going forward with possibly a construction. So how long would this be under construction?
15 to 18 months, sir.
Okay, so that also let the residents know that
Yeah.
you're going to.
One of the gentlemen who was
possibly-
asking me the timeline, yes.
You may possibly have to deal with some construction issues. So again, just keep that in mind. Also, this is open to the public, correct?
Yeah, it's
Do you offer memberships?
yes.
Okay, so these memberships, as a core resident, will I receive discounts as a core resident?
We haven't really thought yet about that. Our major focus was only on the project so far, but definitely we'll take that recommendation and we'll come out with a positive outcome for that, and definitely in for that.
Thank you. Those was on my other
Is
question.
there, for people to come to view it or go sit and eat or do anything, is there a rate to get in, a fee to get in?
There are other facilities that do charge, and there are few facilities that do not charge for people to come watch others play. But we may not charge on a regular basis. We may not charge for people to come and watch others play. But if there are big tournaments and if we are bringing in Ben Johns or things like that, maybe we may charge. But we haven't really given a thought on that yet.
Yes, sir. I don't know if you remember what I said to you when you were here a year ago. And I think there were a lot of options to try to nibble around the edges. And I said to you, Cortez burned his ships.
I think I remember that.
And I just want to tell you that I love what you've done.
Thank you.
You did go back to the drawing board.
Yep.
And you can see that you listened to everyone's comments.
Yep.
And you can't please everybody, but gosh, it looks like you tried.
We did, actually.
And I think it looks great. I hope it's very successful. I hope you're very successful with it. And I also hope it reduces some of the demand for Tiger Minor Park. I know.
Definitely, yeah.
I know I would prefer to play indoors myself.
Yeah, that was the first thought came into my mind when they were addressing that issue.
Congratulations.
Sure, thank you very much.
All right, so I need a motion.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson for item 15 for the pickleball complex. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. No more comments? Let's vote. Motion
you.
carries a year later. Motion carries.
Good job.
There you go. Thank you. All right, we're going to go down to the regular agenda, number 16. We're approval of the shortlisted firms for the interviews for requests for proposals, lease and operation of the Forest Lake Golf Club. Ms. Tolbert.
That's not it. No, it's this one, the one with the notes. But we don't want the notes.
Thing looks great. If he puts it.
But how do I see my notes? What are we doing? Oh, no. Okay. That's fine.
That viewing deck is a
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm Joyce Tolbert. I'm the city's procurement manager. And for a little bit of, well, the item before you is to determine the shortlisted firms for interviews for RFP 25-006, lease and operation of the Forest Lake Golf Club. For a little bit of background, in compliance with the City of Ocoee's Purchasing Code, Chapter 21, the city solicited proposals for the RFP for the lease and operation of the Forest Lake Golf Club for the purpose of securing a lease agreement with a qualified golf operator as the new tenant to operate, maintain, and market the city's municipal golf course and related facilities known as Forest Lake Golf Club. She said. Okay. The city received 6 responses to the RFP, and the evaluation committee shortlisted the top 3 firms. Now, it is important, and we want to note that the committee's shortlisting is only a recommendation, and the city commission has final authority over the list of respondents who are granted an interview. So this listing, you'll see the top 3 firms. However, the city commission can interview the top 3, 4, 5, or all. The next steps are to hold city commission-led interviews of the commission-approved shortlist, and then to hold lease negotiations with the lease agreement subsequently brought back to the city commission for approval, with a target date, start date of January 1st. And I'd like to introduce Alina Stokich, I'm sorry. She's a procurement analyst. She'll run through the timeline and the recommendation.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, City Commissioners, City Manager, citizen of Ocoee. My name is Alina Stokic. I'm purchasing analyst, and I would like to present you the timeline for the remainder of the request for proposals 25006, lease and operation of the Forest Lake Golf Club, with the dates to be determined. We are currently on the step of interviews, selection, and authorization to negotiate with the selected firm. These dates should be determined. The next step will be lease negotiations. This date to be determined between October and December. And the goal is commence operation with the selected firm on January 1st, 2026. Staff recommends Honorable Mayor and the City Commission approve the shortlisted 3 firms for the RFP 25006, lease and operation of the Forest Lake Golf Club as recommended by the Evaluation Committee or some variation thereof. Determine which respondents will be interviewed, duration, presentation, questions. Determine any submission requirements in advance of interviews. Authorize city manager to work with the city commissioners to schedule interview date or dates. Now I'm turning to the city commission to discussion.
That's it.
Good, great. I'm going to make a couple comments before we get started on this. Just like what it reads here, staff recommends the Honorable Mayor and City Commission on the number 1 item. It says approve the shortlisted 3 firms lease and operation of the Forest Lake Golf Club as recommended by Evaluation Committee or some variation thereof. And that's what we said. We have them do the first out of the 6 and come down to who made the cut, was the 3. I'm gonna go ahead and make my comments before we get started on this thing, being you made that other comment to start with. When I sat in on, it's a public hearing, I sat in on that public hearing, and there's 2 people on that committee that's not us, they're out-of-towners, that worked sometime or another with Hampton, that's been tied in with Hampton. So I just want that known up front, because I don't know why we put them on there, but they were. but two of them, and one of them kept trying to change what our group come up with at the meeting. So I just want everybody to know that this one of the two was trying to get it changed. So I didn't appreciate it very much. I didn't have intentions going there. I just wanted to see what the process was. But when I seen the process, then I found out both these two gentlemen had prior worked with Hampton. So that's just a little bit of information, so we can go from there. I think we got three good things. Hampton's one of them, but that's one of the things, like I said, then it was said, oh, take one out and we'll just go with two. No, our other people picked 3 people for us to look at. So we go from there, commissioners. We can take this and set up, Craig can set up the times for us to meet, or are we gonna come here and do it here with, let them come in one at a time and go through it, Craig? Is that what we're gonna do?
Mayor, you need to, once you guys decide who you're going to interview, we are going to need some information on, you're going to need to decide how long is each interview going to last and how you want to divide it up. I would recommend you give them 10 minutes for a presentation and give them 50 minutes for interaction with the commission. But in advance of that, one of the things that all of you have stated, several things that are important to you throughout this process. And you have the ability to require that they submit you some type of short one-page, what's your bottom line, what's your funding capacity, and demonstrate that. Things like that in advance for you to look at before you do the interviews. And then, I will work, my office will work to get the date or dates scheduled, depending on availability of commissioners, and then we'll conduct the interviews.
I think they bring their financial stake with that letter you're talking about with them when we do the interviews. We can go over it there. So we got 3 different groups we can interview. So do we do that on a separate meeting in the commission, or we do that during, I mean, that's gonna take a little while if we try to do it during the commission meeting.
We were anticipating having a special meeting of the commission to conduct interviews.
Okay, all right, is that okay?
I'd rather,
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
I'd rather that.
Yeah. Commissioner Kennedy?
I would agree to a separate meeting from the commission, but I don't like just having the 3 firms. I'm not satisfied with the 3 firms and having read the evaluations and all of the RFPs. So I'd like to discuss exactly what we're gonna do, but I agree with having a separate meeting, yes, to move the ball.
Well, that's why I thought that's why we had the people to cut it down to 3. We can do whatever you want to do, I guess.
I did too. I agree with you. That was my recollection. As I read the 6 proposals, I didn't really like any of them. I thought they all had some good parts. I thought they all had some flaws. I thought some had some fatal flaws. I would just point out one of the evaluators, consistently, the evaluators tended to put 2 of them pretty high, 70 or 80. But in one instance, the other 4 were 54, 55, 59, 59. There's one here where 2 of them are 80, 75. The rest are 52, 59, 57. The 4 after the first 2, there's one here. So the top 2, 68 and 72. The other 4 are 51, 52, 53, 54. There's not a lot of daylight there. And I thought the proposals, I know that the proposals officially met the checklist requirements of procurement and were deemed conforming. But for me, there was a lot of information missing that I would like to see. And the one thing, we have already kind of, I think, in theory, agreed to several things. We'd like to, we said we'd like to see something like a Dubstred. I think we all more or less agree with something along that lines, or wanted to see proposals that might look like that. And as I look at the 6 proposals, I don't see anything that looks like a Dubstred. I see some things that could, with some changes. Like I said, like if I had to just pick one of these 6 and go with it, right now as I sit here, I honestly couldn't. I would say none of these are the plan and the vision that I think we want to go with. And I think there's a lot of missing information. So it's hard for me. It's hard for me to understand, we just have a number, a score. Having read the proposals, I even scanned the proposals and loaded them in a ChatGPT I built to do the analysis, and scored them myself. I don't see that much difference. And so I have some things I'd like to see. Certainly the compensation and rent structure is not apples to apples, as I think we had asked and hoped that they would do. So I think that prior to the interview, they should provide a summary. Some of them have a large long-term revenue share, but they didn't provide an estimate. They didn't provide a pro forma estimate. We definitely need to have bank letter proof of funds. Some of them make some claims that don't have a basis. Most of them have a capital improvement plan, but they don't specify what that capital improvement plan will be spent on and when. So I think we need more detail from all of them. A 5-year cap plan like we do in the city. We approve a 5-year cap plan. And there were also very limited details about their plans for the golf. I can't remember which one. Most of them had a plan for eventually like 52 to 54,000 rounds. My recollection, one of them was going to put 64,500 rounds on the course. That's not a good plan. We all know that what makes a good local golf course is good conditions and good pace of play. I don't know how you have a good pace of play with 65,000 rounds. I'd like to push back. I mean, I had individual pushbacks on all 6 proposals. Obviously, I love this project. My heart's passionate about this project. So, but I'd like to interview all 6 of them. I mean, if I had my druthers, I'd give them all feedback and have them all repropose. But I don't think that's a good idea. But I think I think each of us should maybe provide our comments, things that we saw that we didn't like. One of the proposals included a food truck pad. I don't like that. That's not a Dubstred. So I think we should say, no food truck pad, thank you. We need to see your cap plan, some major things that they can supply additional support for, and then interview them. That'd be my recommendation.
I don't really want to do 6 of them because there's some of them in there I know I don't want to see, but it's wasting time. So if everybody votes on doing that, that's fine. I don't see that. I went through all of them through the book, which it took, I'm not a CPA or a accountant, but I went through them. It took over an hour, hour and a half sitting there going through each one of those. I don't know if the rest of you did that, but I'm telling you, you're going to get the same. If we want to make comments, we make them and bring them to the discussion when we bring them in. Then we ask them the questions we want to ask. That's how we're going to get to it, because the financial thing, somebody's going to have, you like being a CPA, you can read some of that stuff. There was a lot of different things there on each one of those that I didn't particularly care for. but one's Wisconsin guy was out in Wisconsin, one was out of Las Vegas with their, and one was giving no money to the thing. We got to worry about when we're going to have this thing ready to take over January 1st too. So I'd rather, if we want to interview 6, that's fine and dandy, but I don't particularly want to myself. That's me personally. I think this thing's going to drag out and drag out. So I think, like you said, I damn sure don't want no food trucks out there. I mean, that's kind of a crazy.
Well, one of the shortlisted
Yeah.
ones has a food truck.
Food truck.
So that's
Was
where
that-
I get,
which
like,
one-
how did
which-
that make it?
Which one was it?
Ocoee Golf Holdings.
Yeah. Well,
And like, to your point, like, RSAGH, they didn't have a quick payback on the guaranteed rent, but they had the highest profit sharing, 40%.
yeah.
So, yeah, you know, as a financial analyst, I want to know what those assumptions are. And 10-year, you know, yes, number one, I'm not in a hurry. I know we've talked about a schedule. We're making money, so we can take an extra 30 days if we want to. We're going to make an extra $100,000 in the interim. My question is, in 10 years, what's the total payback going to be? What are we going to have, that we get what we want? And so if there was one, you know, I would say if a commissioner had one and they definitely wanted to redline it and could make a basis for that, maybe I might not want to interview that one. But all of these proposals, in my opinion, have at least one flaw. Even the number one, Hampton, I don't think they're building a Dubstred. I think they're building something at a higher, more exclusive level than a Dubstred, and that's not what we expressed we wanted as an amenity for the residents.
Well, if you read the one that's the middle one, they're talking about way more than they are. That what's it?
With the training academy and stuff, yeah.
No, I'm talking about the number 2.
Ocoee Golf?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got.
That's the one with the Kyle
Yeah.
Berkshire and the
Yeah, I mean, it's
LPGA.
like.
And I like
no
those
money,
ideas,
no really
but
money
that's
coming
not
out of
what
it.
we asked.
Yeah. So it's up to y'all. I think we interview them with, you know, you can spread it out and then, like I said, I don't know. I know that it's gonna take some while doing 6. I don't know why we
Yeah.
had them, why did we even do the other? Why did we pick on the 6?
Well,
You know, I mean, why did we do that?
I think you know, I've asked myself that question, and my answer was, you know, this is such a unique project. This isn't how these projects are normally brought. I think the respondents and the committee did a good job. We have a ton of data, a ton of information, and sometimes, you know, I'm doing a banking RFP, and I had 12 respondents, 9 were qualified. I shortlisted them, and I'm going through the second phase, and I learned things that I said that I didn't ask in the first phase.
Right.
And so I think there's value in continuing, especially for commissioners to learn and to ask more questions.
Let's hear, any other commissioners got any comments?
After reading through all of them, I found it very confusing. They all offer so much, and it's not very consistent amongst all 6 of them. What I'd like to see before we move anywhere closer to this is a cut sheet on the financial statement between all 3 of those. I don't have a problem with the 3 that were selected for, you know, the first cut here. They would probably be the ones that I would have selected too. But I'd like to see a sheet comparing what they plan on doing, how much do they plan on making, how much is our cut, how much is their cut, and after 10 years, where do we all stand at the bottom line? I agree that we need to put together questions for them in an interview, and each one of the five of us will have different questions, but I think we'll cover all the bases that way. We all have pretty much the same idea as what we're looking for out of a golf course. Dub's Dread is a wonderful course. I don't know if we want to mimic that completely, but there's some things in here that they're offering that I just don't think we're looking as a fit for Ocoee. But that'll be up to us to individually select what questions we're going to ask the three finalists. But before we do, I would like to get a sheet on the financial statement comparing the three, apples to apples, because going through all of these proposal responses, some of them were very hard, at least for myself, to dig out that financial information and see what they're actually offering. Some were not clear at all, and others seemed to be pie in the sky, you know, couldn't believe what they were offering. I'd like to see it all laid out, though, before we move on, but I'm good with those three.
Okay.
The process that we chose to come up with these top six, I agree with the process. I like the process. Again, this is something that is a proposal that we typically don't go through these methods to do business, but understanding what we're facing and the long-term implications, financial implications that we're dealing with, this was probably the best way to go about coming up with a short list. I have to agree with Commissioner Ferschner. It was quite a bit, some of it was just confusing. Because again, as they were very close and similar in things that they were offering, which made it quite confusing. But one of the things that I actually was looking for, I wanted to see a pro forma, and I wanted to see a long-term proposal as far as a cap plan. I do agree with the idea of having a cap plan for this. This is just how we do business, and it gives us an idea of what's going to happen in the long run. Now, when we typically start looking at doing business with someone, whether you're in a private enterprise or you're in a public enterprise, one of the things you're going to look for, you want to know anyone you're going to do business with, proposals, do they have the ability to do what they say they're going to do? Therefore, I would like to see proof of funds to make sure that they're able to do some of these crazy things that they want to do. That being said, you have companies, just like one of the companies was just formed in July of this year. So if this company just formed in July this year, can they really do all the things that they say they do? There is no track. They have no track record of all the things that they're proposing, which gives me pause. And then we have another company that has been around since 1999, another one since 2022. Then they actually leveraged the company and started a new company, almost the same name, in 2025. I'm guessing probably for this particular project. So what I would like to see is, I would like to I don't have any problem with the top three. I have no problem with that, just so we're not belaboring this whole process. So, and again, if I wanted to interview all six, if the commission want to interview all six, that's fine. I think you have every right to do that and maybe bring some additional findings back to the table. But I'm comfortable with the top three as far as moving forward and trying to determine.
We can vote on it.
Oh, okay, yeah. With the top three to determine how we move forward and how we kind of get through all the minutia of the numbers and all the different claims that they want to do or different things they want to do for us. So I say let's move forward to top three and figure out from there, how do we interview them, how do we come with our questions, and how do we come back together as a commission before January to determine who's going to be the top company to take over this. That way, I think at the end of the road, we'll at least know what's the long-term financial revenue long-term revenue that will come into the city, what's going to be the cut. I agree with the summary, the cut sheet. I say we move forward to top three.
All right, Commissioner Wilson.
As the non-golfer up here, I guess, I will make the comment that, when I was reading it, I appreciate what you've all said, because as I was reading it, I was getting very confused. And again, my experience with Dub's Bread is going to the restaurant or going to events there, so.
Good restaurant.
Yeah, so again, that's where I'm coming from, and I'm looking at what they have, what they're offering. And I appreciate it, because as I was looking through them, I was getting confused. So I'm glad that as a non-golfer, I'm on the same, should be somewhat on the same page. And again, we're looking at the top three. If that's a choice, then we go ahead and interview them. I hope we have some more standardized questions to ask, so that we don't continue to ask different questions to each one, that we don't get the same answers, or not that we get the same answers, but I think to be fair, to give the same questions. But again, I appreciate what you all have to say, and I think I look at it the same way.
All right. I've got a citizen.
Point of order, did the public comment come before you take your vote?
That's what I'm gonna let you do. Yeah, we do that anyway. We do the public hearing for it. You get 3 minutes.
Oh, I'll use all of it, trust me. Doug Gomber, I live at 405 Misty Meadow, been a Ocoee resident for over 10 years. I play a lot of golf at Forest Lake. Your biggest problem right here is your commission, or your committee. Your committee doesn't have anybody that plays golf at that golf course and knows anything about Forest Lake. 2 of them are from out of town, 2 of them don't play, and 1 plays maybe 5 rounds a year. That's your biggest problem. And a little history lesson, when we bought this golf course, remember, citizens, this is our golf course. We own this golf course. The whole idea was to make this an Ocoee-based golf course for our citizens. I was not privy to any of this stuff until yesterday when it went online. So I never saw any of these things. I thought I was going to see them a long time ago. I didn't. So when I looked at them for the time that I've had to look at them, I see anything from a destination Ocoee with some of these people building freaking hotels here. That's not what we're looking for here. We're still trying to get the Dubs Dread concept. These people on this committee, they don't know what Dubs Dread is. They've never been there. They don't play there. People on the committee need to understand what golf's all about. And Mr. Firstner, unfortunately, for what you want to see, you're never going to see an apples-to-apples correspondence that's going to be financial, that's going to be apples-to-apples. It's not going to happen. These guys all have ideas in their heads of how they're going to make a profit. The ones that want to have a food truck court, the ones that want to have a hotel, it's totally different. That's the problem that you're having. You don't have anybody that's directing them to do what we wanted to do. And just to give you guys an idea, these proposals run between 90 and 130 pages. About 75% of it is all fluff. It's about how they're going to hire people. It's absolutely all marketing material. Not one of these has a single page that talks about just about Forest Lake. It doesn't take any of the things we talked about in the conditions of the course or whatever. We're getting the same thing we had before. These people promised to do stuff before, but they then get specific and tell us what they're going to do. Now, one addressed the major problem on the golf course, and that's the potholes. That's tearing our carts up, and it's costing us money. None of this has been done. I'm just really upset with the way the process has gone. The people that are steering these 3 people to you are not, they don't know what they're doing. I'm sorry, they don't. And they don't have a vested interest in Forest Lake and the city of Ocoee. So before you vote and just say, hey, let's take these 3, I'm not saying the bottom 3 have anything to do with it either. But what I am saying is that nobody's taken the time to take the 6 respondents that you have and give them a sit-down personal what we really want at Forest Lake. They're just going and saying, they're throwing up against the wall and see if it flies. That's what they're doing to you guys, and I'm done.
All right, well, we're going to probably have a vote, but I will tell you that there is a couple of them on that. I didn't like the 2 that's on there, but they have played golf there before, and I know one plays golf there. So there are also people that we do this, when we do our bids on jobs in the city, it's always somebody making an evaluation. I think they're smart enough to read the evaluations. And I read through, there's a lot of stuff in there they talked, and some of them did talk about Forest Lake, Mr. Gomes. I don't know if you read all those, and I'm not, you're done. There is people that talked about Forest Lake in that thing. I think I heard at the budget meeting the other night about money on the golf course. No, we don't have to rush it, but we got to take that course over come January. I thought a long time ago, my suggestion was a long time ago, we take it ourselves and run it and bring the people in that does it during the day or week and do it and run our own damn golf course, but that ain't what we voted on, but we.
Can I make another comment?
We got, let me finish, and we've all talked, Scott, so I don't want to be here all night talking about this either, but they're all going to be the same. Everybody that runs these golf courses, they're all talking about the same kind of things on them, when they're going to do the grass, or when they're going to do the potholes, or something that needs to be done. That should be done now. I mean, they should have already worked on the potholes. They're out there for 3 months or 90 days, whatever it is. They should have already worked on the potholes. That should be answered. Whether or not it is, we're checking it. So, no. I think we put evaluation people there, and I know they were golf people. 2 of them were pretty big golf people. Not that I thought they should have been on there, but that's another story. But how long are you gonna take? I don't want to get into another long discussion on Scott.
Okay. Just a second. I wanted to respond to a comment, because I thought it was a good comment. The person on there who, without any doubt, absolutely knows the most about golf, has run golf courses, has saved and turned around golf courses, and has a history of doing it, didn't pick these 3 as the top 3. And I think that says volumes.
Who's?
Mr. Bob Doyle.
What?
The
He's guy
expert,
that's
the
not from
expert
here.
that we
He's-
brought in.
Yeah, but he's also the guy that worked with Hampton.
I don't know about that,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I know he's run
Well-
and developed 30 or 40
Yeah,
golf courses in
But
his
he's
life.
also worked with them.
I'm just saying.
I know. Okay, all right. We need a motion to do the, first we need a motion, we do the 3 and then do the, set up, let the city set up the valuations make it with the financial part, the statement.
Well, if we don't like any of the 3, after we
we
have our
don't
meeting.
say we didn't like
No,
the
I'm just
3.
saying that after we have the after.
Then we can do it again. But let's get through it to
Okay.
start with.
Okay, that's what I mean.
fair.
You know.
I got a lot. I thank
they-
you. I think you all, I got a lot of what I wanted out of comments, so
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
All right, so we need a motion to go ahead and do this with the top 3, which I don't particularly like that, all of them in there, but I think it's the thing we need to do. We pick the 3, and let's do the 3, and if we don't like them, then we'll start over,
I just what I would be.
okay?
Agree
I
with
need
I'll
a
agree to
motion.
that.
I agree to that.
I need a motion.
I make that motion.
All right, motion made that we do the top 3.
And we're gonna have a separate motion on what we're gonna ask them to provide?
We can,
Okay.
yeah, we'll have a separate motion on that. All right, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Wilson. Any more comments on that part? Not, let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. All right, now, we don't want to be here another 30 minutes talking about that, but what do we want to put on it? You got a suggestion,
I've
Scott?
got 4 things I want. I want a more detailed, a 1-pager compensation, rent structure, revenue share analysis. I want the proof, I want a bank letter, proof of funds, liquidity, and capital financing. I want a 5-year capital improvement plan, and I want a golf business growth plan. They need to talk about what they're gonna do with the golf.
All right. Is that okay? Yeah. Is that,
Thank you.
all right, motion, you need,
That's a motion.
you hear a
For them
second?
to provide that prior to the
Yeah,
interviews.
do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Fershner. Any more comments on that?
Is that going to include the restaurant aspect? Are these including the restaurant aspect?
Yes.
Because
Oh, yes.
I don't
Capital
want
plan
them,
should include
I don't
the
want microwave sandwiches on the list,
No.
okay? You know what I'm saying? Do you know, I mean, I hate to say it that way, but that's
No,
what.
absolutely.
And
I mean,
so-
a big part of what you said about what Dubstred offers is the golf-themed amenity, you know, not a bank, not a hotel, but the, you know, the business lunch,
Yeah.
the ladies, the take your wife for dinner, and that's a big part of what we need. in the
Because
city.
everything I saw was more of what would kind of offered anywhere, but it wasn't
Yeah.
what was going to be offered to us.
Correct.
And that's what I want to know, what's
Yeah,
going to be
I
offered to
agree.
us.
They showed menus from other places,
Yeah.
but didn't show a
Like
menu
a
for us.
taco night, well, yeah, great, what are you going to do for us?
I agree with
All right.
that.
Okay.
We can add that as a fifth, if you like.
I would appreciate that, because I'm coming
Well, I
from
hope that's in
non-golf.
it. That's in the part of what they
Well, but I'm going to be looking at
More
that.
detail on the food and beverage, we
Yeah.
can add a fifth.
add that to the motion.
F&B concept.
And I'd like to add that, if I may, to your motion.
Absolutely.
All right, so you second his motion doing that?
I
All right.
second that, however.
Or you seconded it?
Whoever
Is
wants.
that okay with you?
Yes.
All right, let's vote.
That's great. I'll third it. Oh, are we set up?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Okay. Well, mine wasn't.
We're
Are we-
missing somebody.
Are we missing?
Somebody
who-
likes
We didn't get it?
Is it me?
All right, I'm going to reset it.
All right, reset, let's vote again.
There we go.
Motion carries, okay. All right, so you got it, Craig?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right. So I guess you'll be setting up the times and all that.
Yes, so our office will be reaching out to you individually to schedule that. I recommend that you give the interviewees 30 days advance notice so they can be prepared.
Send them
And we'll
that
build that.
notification of what it is.
We will be sending each of them a letter that contains the directions provided by the previously adopted motion.
All right, so
Good deal.
Commissioner Kennedy,
No additional comments.
Commissioner Wilson.
That's good. I just want to thank the commission for their support for our Tiger Minor pickleball issue that we're having, and look forward to a budget hearing tomorrow night,
Oh, yeah.
6 o'clock. Be here.
Commissioner Forstner,
No comment.
Commissioner Oliver.
Just a very brief comment.
Okay, I had to read off some.
I actually wanted to mention, city manager, I needed to probably get some information about the traffic calming and road project for Hackney Prairie that we approved a couple of years ago. So I want to get with you, I'll probably get with you on that, as a side note, to figure out what.
You can, no, I have good news about that.
you
If
do?
you'd like for me to share it.
Yeah, please.
We dug into that, and the money remains allocated to that project. We should have a new design. Mike, why don't you come down and
Is that the
give them
Hackney Prairie?
an update? It's the Hackney Prairie traffic calming solution.
I brought that up too.
I know, and the commission allocated money. It hasn't been spent yet, so we're going to spend it.
Yeah, the 350,000 allocated in the fiscal year '23 budget is still there. We just did the design in-house instead of going out to, so we have, the design is just about done. Internal with PE, Mylan Womack will be submitting those plans, CAD plans to our continuing service contract engineering firms to get their bids and scope to do the project.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Also, last thing I have is, I have a town hall meeting coming up tomorrow, oh, actually Thursday, 8. One of the things that I wanted to do, I actually wanted to post it on the city's website, but we have a Rule 7. If you don't mind, Attorney, could you read that rule? I just need to get some clarity so that if any other commissioner wants to have a meeting, that you don't have any roadblocks by publicizing your public meeting on our website.
Yes, it's Rule 7.1.1. The City of Ocoee website shall remain under control of the city manager. No member of the commission may submit unsolicited material for inclusion on the city website without commission approval unless otherwise authorized by these rules.
Great, so I understand the rule, but one of the obstacles we run into is we have a public meeting in a public place to talk about public things in the district. You get approval from the commission to have these meetings. So we get this approval, but we don't want to hide the fact that the meeting's going on. So we don't want to just say we can't publicize it, but we're going to have the meeting. So my concern is that if we're holding a public meeting and we're holding in a public place, that it should be, it should be publicized, so any of the commission should be able to show up at that meeting, because we're not talking about things that we're going to vote on. We're talking about things that's already going on in the city and things that folks just want to know about, those things. But also, I just want to make sure that if we can get some kind of consensus that we are allowed to have the public meeting, but we're also allowed to publicize that on our website. I don't know if that goes directly against that rule, but I'm wondering if we might need to come up with some kind of idea or at least some kind of consensus that it's okay to put that on the website because it is all for the public.
I have a comment.
Isn't it already been publicized? Isn't it already? I've seen it, but here's.
Oh, yeah, I publicized it.
I know, but it's got the city stuff on it, I'm saying.
Yes.
But I looked on Facebook and your District 4 citizen wanted to know why it was not for all the, like Republicans or Democrats or whoever we invited. They said it's just a separate thing, so it's not really they didn't get invited. Because I guess she's a Republican, but the Republicans didn't get invited, I guess. So they've got the two Democrat people coming there to talk, but the lady put it on Facebook, so I just got to reading that, and nobody else is there except the two new people. Well, what's her name's not new, but she really.
I typically will reach out to our congressional liaison, that'd be Congressman Webster's office, to come down. They have yet to respond or have ever participated. So what the goal is to get a perspective of what's going on in the budget as far as the state is concerned. So whatever elected official from the state level that reaches out, that comes back to me, or at least responds back to me, I allow them to come and speak. So it's open, it's a nonpartisan thing, so it's never a partisan thing when it comes to my town hall meeting. It's just all about what's going on in the community and what's happening at the state level. We just passed a budget. What's going on with the budget at the state level? What are we facing as far as going back into session? Talk about the property tax issues, those kind of things. So they're invited to talk about.
I think that's the way it ought to be, but why would they not get notified?
Well, the notification goes out to who's ever on my distribution list. So if they're on my distribution list, they all get it, regardless of whether they're Republican, Libertarian, or Democrat. They all get it.
Whoever's a citizen in District 4 should get it.
Yeah.
Whether they're on the distribution list or not.
Yeah, I totally disagree. And the rule doesn't, with respect, I don't think the rule as quoted is as you implied. What it says is we have to vote on it. It has to be approved by the commission. So what I would say, when you brought this up, you asked for consensus to use the Lake Shore to hold a town hall for District 4.
Correct.
I saw some stuff on Facebook. That doesn't at all look like what I thought that would look like. And I agree in principle. I think what you said is reasonable. If the city's going to approve it, you're going to have a public meeting for the benefit of the citizens of Ocoee and your district. There probably should be an announcement allowed on the website. But with respect, I don't want to be bait and switched. I'm not accusing you of it. I'm just saying I don't want to be bait and switched. So I would want to see the proposed announcement before voting on it to approve it.
I think that's reasonable. That's definitely reasonable. Also, I would say, just to take it a step further, to show all the invited guests. Or
yes.
Invited.
Because I didn't know
elected officials that's been invited to the town hall meeting, yes.
And with respect, again, if I would have understood that it wasn't, normally when we say town hall, it's us, city staff, and our citizens in our district. Mm-hmm. It's not state politicians. And with respect, I would have not probably voted to give the Lakeshore Center under that premise. Just my opinion. So I think this is kind of slipping out of our hands, and I understand probably not intentional, but I would need to see the proposed announcement before voting to approve it.
Yeah, and I think that's reasonable. And also, some of the things that we deal with, for instance, like this town hall meeting, we'll address we talk about the no carry law. Some of these things that go above our pay grade that's happening in the state that we just may not be aware of, that citizens, the average citizen just don't know, particularly even from the federal side. That's again, inviting Congressman Dan Webster to the meeting. He can talk about things that happens at the federal level. So again, I understand what you're saying. We want to try to keep this nonpartisan as much as we possibly can, and I get that.
Even if you had them both there, I mean, just my opinion, Dan Webster's my congressman too.
Yeah.
So if it's going to get to that level where it's outside of your district or it encompasses issues outside of your district, then I think it needs to be a citywide town hall, not your town hall. Just my opinion.
Okay.
I can be wrong.
Point taken.
We can go to, right, Commissioner?
Yeah,
We can be-
yes.
It's
Yes.
posted.
Yes.
Okay.
I personally feel community meetings are for our district, but when you are why aren't those legislators coming in here? Why aren't they coming in to speak to our residents right here? Carry law, that's going to change, or whatever, tax law, different things that are happening. Why aren't these folks coming here to speak to the whole city as a whole, not just in your district? The community meetings that I've held have been subject related. The last one we had was when we talked about pickleball. And that was subject related. It was not, it's a nonpartisan, it's not a partisan issue at all. And why isn't Ms. Bracy Davis coming to speak to us right here instead of just at that meeting?
Yeah.
Why isn't, I can't think of the other fellow's name, I'm sorry. Rashawn Young coming here. These are topics that can be talked about for 15 minutes here before the meeting, and they get televised to the city, not just to your district. So that's where I stand, and yes, I think if other commissioners are coming, yes, there has to be that bottom line that says other commissioners are going to be there. I don't plan to be there, that's your district meeting. I'm not planning on being there, but again, I think they should come here and speak.
I've tried to go to all of them, so being the mayor, so I'll be at it. I'll go to, you have one, if I'm going, I'm gonna go.
Oh, I understand that. I'm saying, everyone's welcome, and I believe the whole city is welcome. It's not just District 4 or District 2.
I think what it is, Commissioner, I think next time just say that, what you do that, and we'll vote on it and then go on.
Well, absolutely, and I hear your points. I hear what you're saying, and that's one of the reasons I brought this before the commission, so we can hear these. We have this discussion to figure out how do we move forward. I do this once a year, so next year will look a little different. Look differently.
I don't
Yes.
know if the city would do it, but I think to have all your voters that are in your district, if we get a roll thing every year from the county voters office that we could all use, our offices could use to take the people who live in your district, and you send those out to those people, and you know who's not just on your distribution list, like the lady that was on Facebook telling everybody she didn't get invited. She's a voter, I know. So
Or a resident.
we get the voters list, we have it here in our office, city's office, and we can give it to whoever to get their voters.
And I think Thursday would be an excellent opportunity to ask them to come to our commission to give us briefs and updates citywide as well.
It is hard to get the managers or whoever the homeowner association's names on a total list with the city.
Yeah.
It's hard to find it. All right. Everybody done?
I like voters change the residents.
Yeah,
I think just
everybody
residents,
done?
everyone.
Yes.
Is that me? All right, come on, let's get that final public budget hearing tomorrow, Wednesday, September 17th at 6. Here in the commission chambers at City Hall, this meeting will be broadcast live on Ocoee TV. Badges and bingo, Tuesday, September 23rd at 7 p.m., hosted by the Ocoee Police Department at the Backyard, 2214 West Road. Carry your air conditioner with you. Please call 407-905-3160 for more information. October events, Coffee with a Cop, Wednesday, October the 1st from 8 o'clock a.m. to 9:30 a.m. at DG Donuts. Okay, sip, snack, and chat with Ocoee PD. National Night Out, Tuesday, October the 7th from 6 p.m. through 9 p.m. at Bill Breeze Park. Come out for an evening filled with community spirit. One last thing before we go, Christmas lights. Here it is, September, the end of September. And let's say Krug's gone.
I can give you a good update on the Christmas lights.
All right.
Okay? I met with Public Works earlier this week, and we have almost completed all testing of the lights. All of our lights are on schedule to be tested. We plan to have them go up well in advance of Thanksgiving, so that here's what typically happens. So we're testing in intervals, okay? Because what's happened before is we test them, and then lo and behold, when we're installing them, some of them don't work. So we're trying to build in the time so that if that happens again, because we're talking about little electrical outlets on poles, so that we have time to get Duke out and fix them before Thanksgiving weekend, which is when we plan to have them on and running. They're probably going to be on before that, Thanksgiving. I gave Public Works the deadline of Thanksgiving to have them up. So we may be a little earlier than that. But given that deadline, we built in time so that we could have them all tested. The other thing that we're doing, because some of the corridors that we lit last year had what I would call a roller coaster effect, because you have the outlets installed at varying heights. So driving down 80 Mims Road, you see this nice sinusoidal wave of lights. We're trying to uniformize the heights this year as well. And, we've also met with Parks and Leisure. They have an upgraded lighting package for the campus in store, and we plan on briefing the commission about that in the next couple of meetings. You'll probably have a graphic showing the lit corridors, and then, maybe some examples of the campus lighting plan. Thank you.
Everybody have a great evening.